Welcome to what will be one of the final Christmas lives this year. So yesterday I found 2 of last year's cards, which gave us the dimensions for the cards. And I now have stacks and stacks and stacks of everything that we've done so far. And so what we're going to start with is fixing up trees a little bit because there are a couple like this that just have a couple spots at the bottom. So we're going to start with going through all these panels and figuring out what trees need to get fixed. So I have the shimmer I need. I think that one's fine. I think that one's fine. I think that one's fine. I think those are fine. That one might get a little more sparkle. I think that's fine. That's fine. So are there any awkward? A couple of them have like awkward splatters down here, and I want to take care of that. That one does. Oh, so I have to look at them straight on as well. That one's fine. That one's not. That one's fine. That one's not. That one's fine. That one's fine. That one's fine. It's fine. Just a little bit of tweaking. That's fine. I love this one. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. That one's fine. It's fine. That needs some work. That one needs some work. That one needs some work. So, then we get into this big pile. So I'm going to stick the fine ones over here. Just for the sake of my brain. That one needs work. That one needs work. That one's fine. I want to take a look at that. That one's got some white. The issue is these were all cut at where I had the tape lines, and my tape lines were ever so slightly not perfectly straight. I love this one though. Like, look. That's going to be so pretty on the front of a Christmas card. But it is not something that needs to be fixed. I like the fixed versus the need to be fixed pile. That's a pretty stark difference. Are we gonna call that okay? Or are we gonna fix it? We're gonna fix it. And I'm gonna hate myself. Let me know if you have any questions. Also, currently memberships are down because I'm changing the levels. So, currently members are down, but super chats and everything should still work. I just wanted to play around with the levels. That needs to be fixed. That one's fine. That needs to be fixed. That one's fine. I love that one. It's so pretty. There's like a tiny bit in that corner that's not blended all the way down. And I don't know if I can actually fix that or not. So we're gonna leave it, actually. There's a couple little blue splatters of snow, but I almost like them on this card, so we're gonna leave them. I'm gonna leave that. That's fine. That's fine. That needs to be fixed. That needs to be fixed. I adore this one, and I don't know how I'm going to fix it. That's fine. That needs to be fixed. That needs to be fixed. That needs to be fixed. This just looks awkward. That needs to be fixed. That needs to be fixed. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. No, it needs to be fixed. That needs to be fixed. Sorry. It's fine. That needs to be fixed. Well, that one's quite pretty, but it doesn't need to be fixed. That one just has this awkward spot right there. Oof. That's gonna be hard to fix. That needs to be fixed. That doesn't need to be fixed. That one's quite pretty. That needs to be fixed. 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 Needs to be fixed. That needs to be fixed. That needs to be fixed. That's fine, but it looks too big because it is massively too tall. It is that much too tall. Are both of these that much too tall? They are. Cool. We have two that are massively too tall. One needs to be fixed, one doesn't, and we will cut that one down later. So there's my okay pile. We're gonna start with trees because this is the stack of Christmas balls. And I don't feel like dealing with them. Actually, here are the Christmas balls on black paper. And I know that I'm going to have to, like, lines are going to have to be drawn. Like, there's so much work that has to go into them. And I don't feel like doing it right now. So I'm going to make a pile of these. I'm just going to stack these all up. Hopefully, most of these can be fixed just with this little thing of shimmer. If not, though, I do have that palette. So, shimmer, matte. Hopefully, though, I can fix this with just a damp brush. Color. Need this. All right, one fixed. Next one. This is a shimmer brush. And just, you know, honestly. Oh, there is one of these that's missing a whole chunk of paint, and I don't know that I actually found that card. All right, that's two fixed. I love how the snow looks on these cards. Oof, this is gonna be a not easy fix. Oh, that's matte water that I've just stuck a shimmer brush into. All right. Well, I think all my paintbrushes are getting cleaned after this. I don't think there's a way this happens without cleaning all my paintbrushes. I was hoping to get rid of that blue blob. But I think the way I get rid of that blue blob is disguising it with more blue. Okay, there we go. 3 of probably 30. Honestly, it could be significantly worse for the fact that I mass produced all of these and glittered them all in one go yesterday. The fact that it's just this would be so much worse. And I'm using a piece of paper towel because this paint is not easy to get off my desk. I've done it. Been there, done that. Would rather not. Oh, I know what color this is. That makes this easier. What purple are you? It's a great question. Maybe this purple? Maybe that purple. Well, there are some of these that might need a second round of touch-ups, but that is doable. Was it just, oh yeah. Easily fix that is to add. Oh yeah, we're missing a whole chunk there. So here's what we're gonna do. Just gonna like, clearly my tape line was off here. And so I'm just gonna use the darker color. And All right. I like how I thought 3 days ago I didn't have, or yesterday, that I might not have enough cards, and now I'm going, maybe I've got too many this year. Maybe this is too many cards for the Christmas Bazaar. At the same time, it's like, who knows? Because it's also the first time this event's been run in 4 years, and so nobody knows how many people are going to show up. I love that one. It's part of the greens panel. Ooh, 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 ooh. That's a pretty large line. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start with water. Okay. We're heading into a whole bunch that are just sort of the same pearl color. And let's just mix this up. All right. I'm running out of spots to put cards. It's just here. There we go. That's like the smallest, easiest fix ever. Should I list these if there's leftovers? In the past, I've done them as an Instagram, and I think that's probably the easiest way to do it because there isn't an easy way to sell them on YouTube. But I've previously done them as like an Instagram thing. I think that's probably how I'm going to do them this year, if there's any left. I like how I almost forgot the one corner that I actually had to get done. I'm running out of spaces to put these. The nice thing about this slightly blue tinged one is that as long as the line it's covering is light, it covers it pretty well. It's not going to cover this end bit. It's gotten progressively lazier. Normally I'm so careful about not contaminating palettes with shimmer paints. And at this point I'm like, whatever. What happens, happens. The funny thing is, overall, trees are like the easiest thing to fix. After this, I'm going to do the glass balls, and like they're not easy to fix. They take so much work compared to this. Why did this end up in this pile? It's got a couple snow spots. Whatever. We're gonna decide snow spots aren't worth fixing. Where's this? It's like, oh, it's like the edge of the page. Is it just edges of page rubber that was the issue? Yep. Love that being the problem. That's such an easy fix. Honestly, I'm loving the easy fixes. Also, because these are all getting matted on cards, their backs don't matter. And so I can use something like paper towel that's now covered in paint as my backdrop. It's also Scriptus this weekend. And so at some point I have to change from watercolor to fountain pen stuff because I have to pack. And in very exciting news, like more of my friends are attending than I thought they were. And so it will be a super fun time. Scriptus is the only Canadian pen show. Like it's always a good time. Sort of. Like that I put a caveat in that it is always sort of a good time. But I'm definitely excited for the fact that so many of my friends are attending this year. But it will be fun to see everyone. Sure. I'm running out of drying space. Oh. All right. Oh, I love this one. I love the grays. The funniest thing is I can't remember how I did it. It's one of those like, I'm not sure how it happened, but I really, really like it pieces. But I also don't know that any of those grays are going to move at all. I think this is totally the wrong gray for in here. But I don't know what else to put in there. So we're going to stick it in, and once I layer enough shimmer on it, we're going to hope that you really can't tell. Welcome to hand painting every single card for Christmas. Because I sell no prints. Which honestly might have to change at some point. This is a lot of work. It's a lot of work just to sell originals. And they don't sell for that much more than printed cards. So at some point I might have to switch to selling prints. bottom edge, but I actually know what gray that is. It's this gray. This gray. And I know that because there's only one gray I have that makes that granulation pattern that I've got pulled. So I'm actually going to let that dry a little bit before I go back in with more shimmer. Because that's going to have to be re-shimmered. Of course, it has to be a pink. Statistically, pinks really don't like to move. Actually going with the closest match pink, not the pink that's actually in this. The pink that is, for the most part, the closest match is not the pink that's actually in this piece. But there's our pink. And now we get to go in with our shimmer. I'm just sort of blending out the pink. Right. Oh, I'm out of drying space on my desk. That's going over there. I would say I'm probably not even halfway done. I'm maybe a third done of this batch. It's a blue one though, and so I can just go in with the fabulous blue shimmer and go like that. I do love this color. I don't use it all that often. I would say this color, both of these actually, probably only get used on Christmas cards. And I'm now sort of hoarding this one because I don't think her shop exists anymore. Because I think when I went to replace this color last year, like buy an extra pan, because I realized it worked really well for Christmas cards, I couldn't buy one. And I surprisingly don't have anything in my palette that's like a close enough match to it. And so I'm just hoarding it like a squirrel, and I've only used it on Christmas cards in the past year. Because it's one of those things that like works really well as a snow color. Just like the right sort of opacity for snow, where you like want something that just like is shimmery. Just want to dab more of that. But this is the one that's just missing a whole streak. Like somehow there are a couple that just like somehow I didn't get in the first round of glittering cards. But I will say, I mass glittered things yesterday, which is not my preferred method to glitter anything ever. Why is this one here? Oh, right here. I like how I started with this on the table and now I'm like holding them. Like holding them will make them better. Don't know that's how that is, if that is how it works, but you know, we're gonna make it a thing. I'm so tired of trees. This is a dark purple. Here's Scarlet Mist. All right. Love the shimmer on them. We're making a dent. We're down to that for trees. I can deal with that. Where are you here? I don't care. You're here because you've got spots at the bottom. Let's do this bottom edge. This one's fun too. Like there's something about the really bright ones, but there's also something about the really moody ones that I just adore. And then we are on the vertical ones. I love these ones, especially the one that's all the tiny trees. Like it's just so cute. And for lots of these, they were just done with one color, and so it's just like spots that got missed in round 1. All right. What's our issue here? How many total cards do we think I've done? Because these are just trees. I've done, or I'm about to do Christmas balls as well. I think I've got to be close to 200 cards. All right. So, where are my test ones? There are my test ones. There was a single sheet of the Christmas balls that sort of got all weird. And those are the ones we're going to experiment on. Okay. Trees are done. No, I'll take it this way. What I want to try is one of these. Sure, let's take that one. What I want is a tiny brush. And I think I want gold. Because I am a big fan of teal and gold. So let's see. I don't know that my hand is steady enough for this. The thing about these is that they're all tests. I don't know, this might not work. But the thing about having a messed up set is that I can do whatever I want. I can try stuff, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Alright. Once that's dry, we'll add. I guess the other option is trying it in silver. If I'm doing it in silver, I'm doing it on hollow. Because everything's more fun hollow, is my personal philosophy. That one is particularly bad. So let's test on those two. So I need 3. There's 3. So we're gonna do one with black ink. Okay. Honestly, I don't mind the black outline. Is this the pen to do it with? No. But does it sort of work as a design choice for the less than perfect ones? Yes. And I'm that way, this way, this way. This way. Ah, it's smudged. Okay, I don't hate that. So now we've got A, B, C. Let's do these last two. So one's gonna be in black, this one's gonna be graphite, and one's gonna be hollow. I guess graphite is technically, or galaxy. Galaxy is technically black hollow. But I think it works best with the two outlines. So I'm gonna go back. So I think it looks best with the two. Yeah, I like it with the two quite a lot, actually. So, welcome to making my life more difficult. Featuring Christmas cards. Again, these aren't perfect. These are just like my concept art demos for myself. So that when I'm doing the rest of these stacks, I've got sort of an idea of what I'm working towards. It is definitely easier doing the black pen one, just because my detail brushes, by the time they make it to being shimmer detail brushes, tend to be fairly beat up. None of my nice detail brushes are shimmer detail brushes. So that makes doing something like this a little bit difficult. The original plan was to use graphite or galaxy, which is this color, for all the line art. That needs to dry quite a lot. The final one is probably my favorite sort of concept for one, which is hollow. I love getting to use Hello Fabulous, which was one of my first colors with Laura of Cosmic Creations. One of the very first colors I asked her to carry, and one of the very first colors I got to name for the shop. And it really is fabulous. Like, then that's just under my overhead light. I don't have my ring lights out today because they're already packed for Scriptus. But I realize I'm going to need them for tomorrow night's podcast, so I'm going to get unpacked for the podcast. Tomorrow is desk chatter at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then it's it's desk chatter with special guests, actually. We've got 2 hand-turned pen makers on tomorrow night. One I know a bit, which is a River City Pen Company, and then White Bear Pens, who I think I've spoken to her on Instagram, but I've never been at the same pen show that she's been at. So I've never met her. It definitely doesn't work as well with paint. I think it would work. Where's my fluid liner? Oh, I don't know where it is. So I think it would work well with fluid liner, but I don't know where mine is. Does it work with a dotting tool? It does, but it's a very slow process. Wish I knew where my fluid liner was. Maybe it's off in pens instead of being next to my desk. Because that makes a much nicer line. Makes a much thinner line. Which is no. All right, so we learned something, which is I don't like using that for this. Okay. Okay. I don't know if this provides enough of a contrast. It's fun, but I think it blends in too much. I like that I'm just burning through this stack of ones that aren't right with sort of figuring out how I want to finish them this year. Last year I just left them pretty plain, and I'm not against the plain ones. Just wanted to see if it was possible to make them glittery easily, and I think the answer is it's not. All right, well, I've done a whole bunch of them, and I think this is where it ends for now until stuff's dry and I sort of get to figure out what actually works. Honestly, I think I like those two the best. There's just something about the simplicity. So we'll see. But thanks for watching.